everybody. Welcome to another session in training a Mustang from wild to willing partner. I've just went and got Sundancer from the hay bale back there, and now we're ready to get started for the day. So we're starting out. I've got a little part of a noodle laid out on the ground here, as well as my neck rope. And we're going to ask him to step over them and walk on them a few times. Good. Good job. Having these new objects on the ground and having the horse just be around them is a really good way to introduce new things. So initially we just have him walk right over them. There we go. Good. Oh. That time he stepped on it, didn't bother him at all. That's very good. We're also going to throw in some easy touch. Remember, we always want to mix in new behaviors with old ones that they're very confident about. Very good. He's so cute when he's enjoying scratches. Perfect. Good job. See, and that backing that we were talking about is already starting to phase itself out of him picking up his hooves. So that's really good. Might ask him to shift his weight back here. Back. Good. All I was wanting was a weight shift. Now his weight's off of this leg. We can go ahead and ask him to pick it up. And one more time. Very good. Oh, now I tripped on it. Good. Alright. So now we're going to see how he feels about this noodle touching his body. I pick it up, he immediately investigates and targets it. That's great. Okay, right there you see his head level raise. I'm going to pause. Then he acknowledges it, and I'll remove it away from his body. So we're using a little combination of a sort of pressure and release while using positive reinforcement to reinforce him calming himself down. So let's try this again. He's a little frozen there, so I'll wait. He touches it, we move it away. You do not have to terrify your horse in order to get them used to new things. I see so many videos telling people how to desensitize their horse, and they're sharing this advice without realizing just how damaging those actions are to the horse's trust of their human or humans in general. And it often leads to horses having some serious problems. And those problems are what gets them labeled dangerous and untrainable, and that's what lands them in kill pens where they end up bound for slaughter. There was a little bit longer of a pause. It was about an inch off of his back there. And he was a little bit stressed, so I waited. He calmed down, and then I immediately took it away. Notice at no point am I pushing him over threshold or making him feel like he needs to leave. Good. Here you go. There you go, buddy. Good. Now I might just come in here and offer some scratches. Remember, if your horse isn't comfortable with touch, they're not going to be able to enjoy scratches. And if they don't enjoy scratches, please don't try to use scratches as a reward, because it won't be a reward if the horse gets uncomfortable by being touched enough to be scratched. Okay, so that's really important. Let's see, I'm trying to stay where you guys can see his face. Perfect. He was a little bit unsure at first, but he relaxed. Let's try this again. Good. Now if you notice, I'm curving this over his back a little bit. You see it's nice and curved. And this is going to simulate my leg sliding over to that other side when we're ready to get on him. So not only are we introducing something new here, we are helping get him ready and prepared for a rider. All at the same time, while building his confidence in us as his leader and friend, and in himself, as far as, oh yes, he's feeling like he can handle this new thing. So next time we introduce something, it won't be quite as scary. Good. I think he's waiting for it to scratch him. He's kind of making that face that he makes when I scratch him. We still have blinking, we have head movement, all very good stuff. So let's see how he feels about the other side. I'll just start with some scratches over here, and then we're going to repeat that process again. Remember, if you don't take the time and effort to make training sessions enjoyable for your horse is not going to be willing to participate. You have to consider what makes your horse enjoy your time together, and be sure to implement those things into your training together for an overall great relationship with your horse. Okay, so now we'll introduce the Noodle again. This side we got much closer, much faster, with much less of a reaction. Very good. His head level didn't raise there. Only his ears got a little bit tense. So the level of that little bit of anxiety he's feeling is definitely decreasing as the session continues. And that's how it should go. If your horse's stress during your session increases, you are not training them. You're scaring them, and you're creating negative associations with whatever you're doing. Blue Dog's trying to eat the camera. 1 second. Okay. Maybe he'll stop. Okay. Good. Yeah. Okay, that time was a little bit stressful, so real quick, we're going to go ahead and offer him some more scratches. But notice this back leg over here is still cocked and relaxed. He didn't even feel stressed enough to stand up all the way. Okay, let's try this one more time. Very good. Nice job. Now that's a good start for our Noodle here, and that's all we'll do with that for today. So now I've got my neck rope, and we're just going to start by letting him target it. He's really got a thing with ropes, so that's one of the biggest things we're going to be working on. And using this short one is a really good way to start. Good. Now, just like we did with the Noodle, we're going to get closer and closer to him. Did you hear that big exhale? That's him getting relaxed. Here. Good. Now I'm just going to rest it. Good. No problems there. Gosh. Camera's all crooked. Let me fix that real quick. Blue Duck's trying his best to eat it right now. Okay, notice I didn't approach him while his head was down and he was occupied. I waited until he was ready. He seems like he's getting a little bit bored with the hay pellets, so I might start using scratches as my reinforcer. Because he's really enjoying those today. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to go over, and then we'll use scratches to reinforce. Now, the same thing as treat mode goes for scratches, okay? If the horse is mugging you and pushing up on you, you don't want to scratch them. You want to wait until they're waiting patiently for their scratches, and then you can offer them the scratches. And that is how we avoid creating a pushy horse that's super motivated by being scratched. Very good. Very good boy. Notice I started off really slow with this rope, but now we're increasing in speed and being less careful because he's getting more and more comfortable. Very good. Good boy. Gotta switch scratching arms. Getting tired. Back. 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 Very good. Good boy. This time we're just going to kind of leave it there. See how he feels? Good. Now we've got a little bit of a thing with the ears being touched too, so we need to work on that before we slide this on and off of his head, because if we go ahead and just run this rope over those ears without working on this first, he's going to be a little bit bothered and uncomfortable. But if we work on it first and remind him that he can feel safe and allow us to touch his ears, then it won't be an issue when we go to slide this over his neck. Okay, so he moved me here, so I know I need to scratch in this area, but I'm going to head to the other side, and we're going to do this process from over here. So I'm going to work on his ears. That one was much better than the other side. And again. Very good. And I'm just going to put this rope on his neck on this side. Good. Very good, bud. And then over. Very good. Good. Good job. Okay. Ears. Good. Let's see. Everything we do, we want to take it in very small steps and make sure that they're completely comfortable with each and every step, and that's how we will set them up for success overall. Good. There, that was another good example of problem solving. I just held it up. He tried touching it, he tried moving it, and then he tried sticking his head in. And then he was rewarded because that is the correct answer. Not quite. Good. Good boy. Good. We'll take it. He did get a little tense that time. So that tells me we maybe need to work on me reaching at his head. Very good. So here I'm just reaching out, and then he's going to come in to my arms, and that's where he's going to be rewarded. Because he doesn't need to shy away when I reach up. He needs to be brave and willing for me to reach towards his head. Now, we might just try this from the other side and see, since I do usually halter him from over here. Very good. And you see that difference there. Good. You're okay. He's really not sure about the rope catching that other ear over there. And that might be where our problem was with the halter too. So that's also why we're working on this neck rope a little bit, because it'll help us sort out some of those halter problems and get him a little bit more confident with things coming on and off of his head. So we might just ask him to pick up his foot here. Beautiful. Good job. And see if maybe he's interested in some pellets now. That's a no. He only took a few of them. Good. So he's fine with it coming on. It's just coming off. Okay, so let's see here. Very good. That time I gave him a pause. I picked it up off his neck and paused before I pulled it over his ears. So he was able to get himself ready for what was to come. So he didn't get scared that time. Good. Good boy. Okay, let's try that again. Pause. Perfect. I paused, he looked at me, and that was my cue to, okay, take it off. Looks like he's going to go see what Blue Duck is doing over there. He might just come over here with the hand target. And if this is where he decides he's done, that's okay. This is part of allowing your horse choice in their training process, okay? So if he wants to go back over there and eat hay, perfectly fine with me. I'm probably just going to hang out with him for a little while before feeding. So it's not a bad thing if he chooses to be done. We had a very positive session. He ended being very comfortable with this going on and off of his head, so that's okay. It all depends on what type of relationship you want with your horse. Obviously, if you have harsh competition goals or something, you're going to be a little bit pressed in allowing your horse to have complete choice. However, there still are some things and some ways that you can allow them more autonomy while still meeting your goals. So you can refine this down into a little bit more of a mediated training version between pressure and release and complete autonomy versus complete force, or you can go full one way or the other. So it just depends on your situation as to how you would like to handle these things. Now he's taken off for a walk here, so I'm just going to offer my Noodle. He's looking at me. He knows that this is a target as well. So if he comes back, then he's interested in continuing his session. If he doesn't, we're just going to call it for the day and call that a positive session. So I might just walk a little closer and see if we can get this yes. He's fully playing with Blue Duck and investigating his surroundings over here. And as backwards as it sounds, the more often you let your horse say no, the more often they're going to say yes. So we'll see. Previously in Sundancer's training, I've been pulling him into a pen, or he was already in a pen when he first got here. So this is the first time that he has full range of friends and food and everything that he's supposed to have while we're doing training sessions. And we're just coming back in from his 3-month break. That's also something to remember. We see him over here now, looking like he's headed back to the hay bale. So this is a prime example of allowing your horse to say no. And we'll see as we keep posting these sessions whether he decides he wants to say yes more often once he's allowed to say no. So if you don't want to try this with your own horse, just watch this journey and see how it goes for him, and then decide based on those results whether you want to give it a try or not. But I encourage you all to try out positive reinforcement training. Try not having expectations for your training sessions and just see what your horse gives you and be happy for what they give you in each given day, because honestly, it's a gift that they even want to work with us in the first place. So just keep that in mind and drop any questions you have in the comments. I'm happy to help, and we'll see you in the next video.